Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's basically prize fighting. Because ultimately, the bout in Wroclaw, which is between Dubois and Usyk, is settled. AJ White 2 is settled. They've tried desperately to get these big fights between Fury and AJ and Fury and Usyk off the ground. It just never seems to come. And now Francis Ngannou, who's got a brilliant backstory, by the way, fantastic backstory, is going to get his opportunity to fight the heavyweight champion of the world. The issue here is, Danny, that this isn't a real fight, is it? I mean, this is a UFC fighter going into a ring, taking on a boxer. The last time we saw this was Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather Jr., and it was just a circus.
There's no jeopardy in it. There's nothing on the line. I won't watch it personally. I love Tyson Fury, by the way. What he's done, what he's come back from, what he's achieved. This ain't about being critical towards him for taking a huge amount of money to do an exhibition fight. In effect,
it's not an exhibition fight. He says
no,
it
well,
will take place under the official rules.
I know,
of
but it
boxing,
is, isn't
with
it?
3 judges ringside adopting the 10-point system.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It feels like an exhibition. It feels like a bit of a
it's a cash cow.
Cash cow, a gap filler. I still struggle with the boxing thing because I obviously I listen to a lot of it when I'm on Simon and Jim's show, and boxing's very well covered there when they're in here, I should say. This is Simon and Jim's show, but you know what I mean. And I struggle with the concept of the fighters not having more say and saying to the people who they pay, they employ, and they get their way. Like their talent is what's paying everyone else around them, even the promoters. Get the fights done. Fury, Joshua, we've been meaning it's become even if he fights him next year, we wanted to see that when they were both in the pump. Usyk, Josh, could have got Tyson Fury and Usyk done. Just a bit of renegotiation, a bit of give and take.
Problem, isn't it? There's no point in taking your frustration out on Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou about taking this fight. Don't hate the players, hate the game. The fact is that those around them are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Is that what you used to say in your dating years?
It's great for Ngannou.
Wasn't it? That was what you used to say, wasn't it?
It's great for Ngannou, but yeah, I'm with Danny. I won't be watching it.
Nah.
You say that, but a lot of people will be watching it because this is another text coming from Rob. He says it's a cash grab, a glorified spa. I rate Fury really highly, but you can't defend this as it's not a game changer. It's absolute tosh. The issue is Fury makes more money doing this than fighting a guy in the top 10, 20. That's the issue.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. Boxing has got itself into this situation where the fights that Fury could take now are not attractive. They're
he
not
did retire, though,
enough.
didn't he?
Yeah,
could he not just stay retired?
But also, sometimes he comes out with some ridiculous things. And I notice, actually, that he's already started to say things slurring Ngannou, using his homelessness against him, which I don't think is appropriate, by the way. It's not bright, especially when there's soaring number of homelessness in this country. But this is a guy who's actually, his journey is unbelievable. He was homeless in Spain after moving through France, ended up getting his chance in the UFC. His story is actually one of inspiration, and the fact that Fury has come out with those comments already seems to be a little bit, well, not only disingenuous, but it's just unnecessary. We've moved on from that, and I think sometimes he can alienate people by coming out with those comments. I'm looking at
boxing at the moment, and as a lot of people might disagree, but I think the general wouldn't. Is the fight's coming up? Usyk Dubois. Usyk's going to beat him comfortably. I mean, he's a skilled talent. He's not going to have a problem.
No.
Joshua.
Well, you wouldn't have thought so, although there is jeopardy in it because Dubois has got something in it.
A little bit, maybe. That would be the one that has a little bit that might get some interest. Joshua Dillian White.
Yeah.
He'd done him before. Dillian
did him in the amateurs.
Yeah, but that's a long time ago. And Dillian turned up in that big fight against Fury under pressure and didn't even throw a punch, I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's every chance that
but people say this because they want to try and get the fight.
I'm not trying to elevate the fight.
Well,
I think it's the end. I think this is that one's got jeopardy because those two people are fighting for their careers.
We'll see, but maybe. It doesn't excite me compared to what would excite me watching Joshua Wilder, watching Fury Usyk.
Does this excite you? Fury versus Ngannou?
That excites me about as much as thinking about Crookie in your bath having a drink.
What an image that is.
What do you make of it?
As you said, it's a circus. Great for Ngannou, given his backstory. Apart from a heap of cash, I don't really see what Tyson Fury's got to gain out of it, and I don't think it's great for the sport of boxing.
Is it desperation from Frank Warren to get a fight involving Fury onto the agenda.
Well, he hasn't had a fight, has he? So
he hasn't had a fight for a year.
Even that wasn't really a fight, really. So easy for him. So he's got to keep him active. But will this really keep him that motivated in his training camp?
It's dangerous as well, isn't it?
Dangerous for Ngannou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially.
They'll have an agreement before they go in.
Then that makes it even worse, doesn't it?
But they're going to look after each other, aren't they?
It's basically WWE.
I won't take your head off for a few rounds and then nearly, I'm sure that's what goes on.
But,
I'm still disappointed in boxing from the Taylor and Cattrall fight. I really felt dumbfounded, and even a proper fight, and then it gets given the wrong way because of God knows what's gone on.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
So even when the big fights do happen, you're thinking, please not somebody get knocked out, so we don't have a problem with the judging.
One of the reasons that it's out of the Olympics, or going to be out of the Olympics, is because of the controversy involving the judging. Heavyweight boxer against heavyweight MMA is similar to an experienced heavyweight boxer versus an experienced light welterweight boxer. Think about it; it's a mismatch either way. Bradley, who's a Manchester City fan, got in touch with us. Also, James has said, "I love boxing, but I'm so fed up with it now. They should be mandated to fight a minimum 3 times a year. By the time these fights happen, it's years down the line. The whole division is embarrassing. Fury only has himself to blame. He could have done the Usyk fight in April, but didn't." There is a lot of frustration with it. There's no doubt about that. And from 5 o'clock today on talkSPORT 2, Gareth A. Davis and Nick Peet will bring you the latest from the world of boxing and Fight Night Extra, following a seismic week of announcements in the heavyweight division that will unpack the fights for you, both the Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fights as well, and where it leaves the heavyweight landscape. That's 5 o'clock over on talkSPORT 2.